Welcome back to English Motivated. Today's topic is very special. Today we will talk about Christmas, not just as a holiday, but as a feeling, a memory, and a moment in life. So relax your mind, open your heart, and let's begin this beautiful journey together. When someone says the word Christmas, something warm moves inside the soul. It feels like a gentle memory that does not belong to one single moment, but to many moments blended together. Have you ever felt that strange comfort in your chest when the season changes? The air feels different during Christmas time. It feels lighter, calmer, and cleaner. Even if you are stressed, even if your mind feels heavy, Christmas has a way of touching you quietly. You may not notice it at first, but slowly your thoughts become softer and your steps become slower. There is something peaceful about that. People begin to decorate their homes. Small lights start appearing on windows, doors, and walls. These lights are not just decoration, they feel like tiny hopes glowing in the darkness. When you see them from far away, they look like small stars that have come down to the earth. Sometimes you may walk on the street and notice people smiling without reason. The same people who look tired all year suddenly look lighter. Isn't it strange how a simple season can change the expressions on faces? The sound of Christmas songs fills the air. Soft music, gentle voices, slow rhythms. The music does not feel loud. It feels like a whisper to the heart. It feels like the sound of comfort. You may not even understand all the words, but the feeling is very clear. Children feel Christmas in a different way. They don't think about money. They don't think about stress. They feel only excitement and wonder. When you see a child waiting for Christmas, don't you feel like smiling for no reason? There is something very powerful about Christmas night. The world becomes calmer. The noise disappears slowly. People sit quietly, thinking softly, feeling deeply. Even the sky feels different. It feels closer, darker, and more peaceful. Some people sit near windows and look outside silently. Some people sit with their families and talk about old stories. Some people sit alone and think about their lives, but everyone feels something special. Everyone feels a quiet connection to something bigger than themselves. During Christmas time, people become a little kinder. They speak softer. They listen more. They try to understand each other better. Even strangers feel less strange. A simple Merry Christmas suddenly feels like a real blessing. Gifts are exchanged, but the real gift is the feeling of being remembered, the feeling of being seen. Sometimes a simple, small gift can create a huge motion inside the heart. Food becomes a celebration. The smell of warm dishes spreads through homes and streets. But it is not just about taste. It is about sharing, sitting together, eating slowly, talking gently. People laugh more during Christmas. Not loud laughter, soft, comfortable laughter. The kind that does not hurt anyone. The kind that feels safe. And in these moments, people start remembering old things. Childhood memories, old friends, old dreams. Some memories bring smiles, some bring tears, but all of them feel real. Sometimes Christmas makes people emotional. It reminds them of people who are no longer near. It reminds them of moments that will never return. But this sadness is not heavy. It is soft. It is gentle. It feels like love. Christmas teaches the heart to slow down, to breathe, to feel. It reminds us that life is not only about running forward. Sometimes it is about sitting still and feeling everything inside. The lights on the streets look softer. The night sky looks deeper. And silence feels louder. It feels like the world is telling you something, but not using words. Christmas is also about quiet hope. Hope that things can change. Hope that hearts can heal. Hope that tomorrow can be kinder than yesterday. And sometimes that small hope is everything. There is something magical about walking outside during Christmas time. You feel the air touching your face gently. The cold feels clean. The wind feels gentle. Everything feels alive. People start to care more. They check on friends. They call family members. They send kind messages. And suddenly, you realize that you are not alone. Maybe you were never alone. At night, while lying on bed, people think more. They think about their mistakes, their dreams, their fears, and their hopes. And strangely, Christmas makes those thoughts feel softer. Christmas does not solve problems, but it gives the heart the strength to face them. It gives the soul a small rest from the war inside. And as the days move closer to Christmas, the feeling becomes stronger, the lights become brighter, the music becomes sweeter, the air becomes calmer. This isn't just a date on the calendar. This is a season of the heart. This is a pause in the busy noise of life. And this is just the beginning. As Christmas gets closer, people start to feel something changing inside them. It is not a loud change. It is a soft, quiet shift of emotions. You may be walking down a street and suddenly you feel lighter without knowing why. Have you ever felt happy without a clear reason? Shops start to glow with lights. Windows become more colorful. Even simple places start to feel beautiful. Sometimes just looking at the decorations can change a bad mood into a good one. People begin to prepare gifts. Some are big, some are small, but the size does not matter. The real value is in the thought behind the gift. Have you ever received something small that made you feel very big inside? Christmas markets feel alive. The air smells sweet. Music plays softly in the background. Everyone walks a little slower. Nobody is in a big hurry. It feels like time itself is moving gently. Families become closer. Even people who argue all year try to be peaceful. This is not because they suddenly forget their problems. It is because Christmas reminds them of what is more important: connection, presence, love. Some people travel long distances to be with their families. Long roads, tired eyes, heavy bags, but light hearts. Because when they arrive, they will not just meet people, they will feel home. During Christmas, cities look different at night. The lights reflect on the roads. The houses look warm. The sky feels like a blanket. And in that quiet moment, you may feel very small, but also very safe. Sometimes people sit alone and think about their childhoods. They remember themselves as small children, full of dreams and simple happiness. Christmas has a way of waking up old memories gently. There are moments when Christmas feels silent, but the silence is not empty. It is full of meaning. It is a silence that makes you listen to your own heart. People become more generous. They help others. They share food. They give their time. Not because they're forced, but because they feel something inside that says, give. Have you ever noticed how Christmas songs feel different from other songs? They are not just music. They feel like stories. They feel like warm blankets around the soul. Some people feel lonely during Christmas. That's okay. Loneliness is not weakness. It is a human feeling, and Christmas gently reminds us that we need each other. Children laugh more. Their laughter sounds like small bells. Their excitement fills the air, and when adults hear that laughter, even their tired hearts feel a little lighter. The sound of footsteps on cold streets, the soft opening of gift papers, the quiet clinking of cups. People sit around tables and talk about their lives. Old mistakes, old dreams, new hopes. And in that sharing, something heals quietly. Christmas is not about perfection. It is about presence. You don't need a perfect house. You don't need perfect food. You just need a heart that is open. The world does not become perfect during Christmas. Problems do not disappear, but the heart becomes stronger. And sometimes strength is more important than perfection. Some people pray in their own way. Some people sit quietly. Some people just breathe slowly. And in those quiet moments, something inside becomes peaceful. The sound of wind at night, the soft blinking of lights, the warmth of blankets, everything feels meaningful. Even the smallest things feel important. Have you ever noticed that during Christmas even darkness feels gentle? It is not a scary darkness, it is a calm one, like a night that protects you. As the Christmas day gets closer, hearts beat a little faster. Not from fear, but from excitement, from a quiet joy that cannot be fully explained. And slowly the world prepares itself, not just outside, but inside. Christmas morning feels different from any other morning. The light coming through the window feels softer, warmer, kinder. It feels like the world has been washed with quiet peace overnight. When you open your eyes on Christmas morning, your heart feels lighter without knowing why. Have you ever felt that soft happiness before your mind fully wakes up? The air feels fresh. The room feels calm. The silence feels full. Outside, everything looks more beautiful, even the simplest things. The sky feels closer. The trees stand quietly like they are watching something special happen. People walk differently on Christmas Day. Their steps are slower. Their faces are softer, and their eyes look warmer. There's less anger. There's less rush. There's more presence. Children wake up early, full of excitement. Their hearts beat quickly. They look at lights, at gifts, at faces, and everything feels magical. And when adults watch this happiness, something soft touches their hearts too. There's a quiet magic in simple moments, sitting on a sofa with a warm drink, looking at soft lights in the room, hearing gentle sounds in the background. These are not loud moments, but they are powerful. Food becomes more than food. It becomes a memory. It becomes a feeling. Every smell, every taste feels connected to something emotional. It feels like the heart is eating, not just the mouth. Some people talk a lot on Christmas. Some people talk very little, but both feel connected because sometimes connection does not need words, it needs presence. Not everyone has a perfect Christmas, and that is important to understand. Some people feel lonely. Some people feel lost. Some people feel tired. And that is okay. Christmas is not about hiding pain. It is about holding pain softly. There are moments of laughter.
quiet laughter, comfortable laughter. Not the kind that hurts, but the kind that heals, the kind that reminds you that you are alive. Christmas evening has a special kind of light. The sun sets slowly. The sky changes color gently. The lights on houses begin to glow brighter as the outside becomes darker. People sit together and share stories. Stories of the past, stories of funny moments, stories of hard times. And in sharing, they become lighter, like heavy bags being placed on the ground. Some people look at old photos. Some people remember voices. Some people miss someone. Christmas does not stop these feelings. It makes them softer. You may sit quietly and feel many things at once. Happiness, sadness, gratitude, fear, hope. And that mix of feelings is what makes Christmas feel real. As the night becomes deeper, the world becomes quieter. The sound of wind, the soft blinking of lights, and slow breathing around you make the moment feel very pure. You may think about your life, where you started, where you are, where you want to go. And in that thinking, you may feel less afraid of tomorrow. Christmas does not change your life in one day, but it changes the way you feel about your life. And sometimes that small change is enough. There is something very powerful about sitting in silence on Christmas night. The silence is not empty. It is full of emotion, full of memory, full of meaning. And slowly, as the night moves forward, the heart starts to feel grateful. Grateful for life. Grateful for people. Grateful even for lessons. Christmas teaches us that we don't need too much to feel happy. We need soft moments, honest feelings, real connections.
When the lights are turned off and the room becomes dark, something inside you stays lit. A small light of warmth that does not go away easily. This is what Christmas gives. Not things, but feelings. Not gifts, but memories. Not noise, but peace. And that feeling stays with you even when Christmas is over. As Christmas slowly comes to an end, something gentle happens inside the heart. It does not stop suddenly. It fades slowly, like soft music becoming quieter. The lights are still there, but the feeling becomes calmer. Have you ever noticed how beautiful something feels just before it ends? The tree still stands in the corner, glowing quietly. The decorations still hang softly. But now, instead of excitement, there is a peaceful silence in the air. People begin to return to their normal lives, but their hearts feel a little different. Something inside them feels healed, softer, lighter. Some people sit quietly and think back to the moments they just lived. Oh, the laughter, the stories, the warmth, the quiet talks. These memories now feel like small treasures. The house feels quieter. The streets feel calmer. And in this quietness, you start to understand something important. Christmas did not change the world, but it changed the heart. Not all problems disappeared, not all worries stopped, but the heart learned how to carry them better. And that lesson stays. Sometimes after Christmas, you feel a strange mix of emotions. Happiness because it happened, sadness because it is ending. But this mix is beautiful. It means you felt deeply. People slowly start removing the decorations, folding the lights, packing the ornaments. And with each small movement, the heart holds on to the feeling a little tighter. Christmas shows us that beauty does not last forever, but feelings can. Moments fade, but memories remain. Even when everything looks normal again, something inside still feels warm. It feels like a small fire that still burns gently. You start to realize that Christmas was never about the tree, the food, or the gifts. It was about the way you felt, the way you connected, the way you opened your heart. That is the real lesson of Christmas. That is the real magic. That is the real gift. And that magic does not belong to just one season. It lives inside you, every day. Thank you for staying with me through this full emotional journey about Christmas. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to English Motivated for more inspiring lessons. Remember, Christmas is not just a day, it's a feeling you can carry all year long. This is English Motivated, and I'll see you in the next video.